why did you choose Back to the Future?
Back to the Future. Well, that movie, there's a good story. When it came out, I remember seeing the ad in the newspaper because don't forget, I'm ancient. So I saw the ad, I saw the logo, and I was like, what is this movie? And my parents were like, oh, I heard this is good. We're going to go see this Saturday night. And I was like, oh boy, I don't know what we're getting into. I had seen nothing. I just had seen this logo. And so I was like, all right, so here we go. And we got there. And I was knocked out by this movie. This one, just from the very beginning, I was like, this guy is our guy. He does guitar, he skateboards, he time travels.
Van Halen.
Van Halen. Huey Lewis. Let's not forget Huey Lewis.
Oh, yeah. And Huey Lewis was your first concert.
Yes.
You were a big Huey Lewis booster.
I was a big fan. Huey Lewis in the News. And I still will crank up Huey Lewis in the News Sports, 4, and let's not forget Power of Love from this movie. And then also Back in Time, which, now that I'm older, I think I might actually like better than Power of Love. I know.
Strong statement.
It's a very strong statement. But everything about this movie was just everything that I liked. I thought Michael J. Fox was cool. Christopher Lloyd, hilarious. And you have a movie where you have trouble in your life because you have these parents that are not in a happy relationship, and you're able to actually fix that.
Yeah.
You come back after, being in the past, and you've made it so that your father has confidence, you have a happy family, everyone's doing really well.
You have a 4x4.
You have a 4x4. I mean, that was one of the things that people talked about, is it's like, well, he made it so that they had more money when they came back. So that's not that cool of a message. And when I stop and think about it, I'm like, yeah, but, the 4x4 is pretty good.
That was Crispin Glover's complaint, I guess, right? We read this in the trivia somewhere, that the reason he wasn't interested in coming back for the second movie is because he felt that the financial success that was gained through this event was kind of too much of a main point. But at the same time, like, when you don't have any money, you fantasize about having money.
Yeah.
So I think to some extent I actually had the same thought. I'm like, oh, it's kind of a bummer that they're so focused on finance. However, when you don't have it, you are focused on it. So I guess it's realistic.
Well, and also the biggest thing for me is the relationship with the parents was so much stronger. Even if the money aspect was not there, the fact that the father had confidence, the mother was happy, they were happy being together. Yeah. Because when we first see the parents, they are not doing well.
No. And, I guess that's, again, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about in The Lost Boys a couple episodes back.
Mm-hmm.
That one of the big things, I think, for 80s kids that maybe wasn't as much of an issue for previous generations is that a lot of 80s kids were dealing with divorced parents. So, when you see these parents at the beginning who kind of have a contentious relationship and they're not happy and everybody's kind of miserable,
mm-hmm.
and it kind of trickles down into the kids. So at the end, when they're happy together, the dad feels good about himself, he likes what he's doing, and it just has this...
Okay.
I'm drinking soda.
No, it's okay. I'd be there too, man.
Happiness that kind of, again, trickles down. So the bad feelings trickle down, but then at the end, the happy feelings trickle down to the kids. And their successes, too.
Well, the thing that I also liked is that the father became an author. His first book is published when Marty comes back to the future in 1985.
Yeah, and it's a science fiction
mm-hmm.
book, which is fun because it kind of ties into the whole science fiction aspect of the movie as a whole.
Yeah, because when Marty came and he played the Eddie Van Halen to him, and he told him, You know, my name is Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan, and unless you get Lorraine to go to the dance with you, I'm going to melt your brain. You know?
Yeah,
That
that's
was
good stuff.
amazing. I mean, who had ever seen headphones and a Walkman used as a torture device before that? That was
Well,
genius.
and he has like a hazmat suit on,
Hmm.
so he looks like, an alien. And that isn't the first time they mistake him for an alien, because when he crash lands the DeLorean in 1955 at the Lone Pine,
Yes.
the pine tree farm gets knocked, he knocks one of the pine trees down. It kind of, he gets out of the car and the kid's like thinks he's from outer space.
Yeah, he's mutating. He's mutating. And then the farmer has a shotgun. Take that, you mutate some bitch.
Well, it's great because, science fiction was such a big thing in the 50s.
Mhm.
Like, 50s science fiction is like the seminal thing, with aliens and spaceships and Planet Mars and all this kind of stuff. John and I really like watching a lot of Riff Tracks and Mystery Science Theater 3000. And a lot of the movies that those guys riff, hilariously, every single time, are science fiction movies or horror movies from that kind of early 50s, 60s period.
Yeah, it's something that we enjoy a lot of. And when they're actually parodying, parodying? Parodying. Let's try that again. You know, when you see somebody parodying something that you like seeing parodied,
Yeah.
it's a great time.
Yeah, it was campy.
Right.
It's campy fun.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had a bunch of reasons. I mean, everything that I like I said, at the beginning. I mean, you had the sci-fi, you had the comedy, you had the romance, you had a super cool car. The DeLorean
Yes.
is super, super cool.
But Pepsi instead of Coke, how did you feel about this?
Ooh, I mean,
Controversial.
that was a betrayal.
It's the Cola Wars.
It was. It was, and I mean, I was a casualty.
You still are.
I am.
We all are. My teeth are.
Oh, yes.